It's in plain English. You don't need to be a constitutional lawyer to understand it. Its intent is plain in the words. So we are urging everyone to have in your pockets a little business card with the provision on it. And there's enormous clarity in it. So I urge you to use it as a means of communication. There's 4 parts to it. The first part is recognition. And the words of recognition are very plain. In recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the first peoples of Australia. That's what we're doing here. We're recognising something very simple but something very profound. And it's profound because it's in a very heavy document, the Australian Constitution. When you put words like that are so simple, so straight, and yet so powerful, when you put it into something like the Constitution, it means a lot. It is where we need to put the words, finally, after 250 years, and we have an opportunity by so doing to complete the nation, to complete Australia. Australia is incomplete without recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. So the opportunity we have will be to say yes, crucially say yes to a question that we traditionally defaulted to no when we were asked in the past. We said no in 1788, and we said no in 1901 when Australia was formed. We have a chance to say yes, because saying no for so long has brought out so much of the powerlessness in our history. We can put that history behind us, understanding its truth, but now reaching for the future when we say yes. We can get this thing right. We can get our relationship right, and we can get our nation right by completing the Australian Constitution. The first clause in the provision is a guarantee, it's a promise. And the promise is there shall be a body. And it's Australian people who will guarantee that promise, not the Parliament or the government. When we change the Constitution, we change it. We decide to change it. 17.5 million people decide to change it. Not just on behalf of ourselves, but on behalf of our future generations. And when we do that, that's an instruction to everybody, including the Parliament, that there shall be a body. The third thing in the second clause is why? What's the purpose? Well, the clause says very clearly the purpose is to make representations to the Parliament and the executive government on matters affecting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. Make representations on matters affecting Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. That's the purpose of this body. That's the purpose of this voice. And the final provision in the alteration that the government has passed through the Parliament and that we will vote on in soon time is the question of detail. If you want to know about the detail of the voice, it's in clause 4 of the provision. And it reads, the Parliament shall have power to make laws about the voice, including its composition, functions, powers and procedures. That's the way it's always done under the Constitution. The Constitution gives a power to the Parliament, and the Parliament provides the detail. It's in the same way the Constitution provides the head of power for the Parliament to make laws about the ABC, The clause dealing with the ABC is about 5 words long. But Parliament then takes that power and legislates the ABC. And it's done 3 versions of it since it first did that in 1932. That's Parliament's role. Sometimes legislation will run for 15 years and then they'll make amendments to it. In 1983, the Parliament decided to radically change the ABC. That's the power of the Parliament. It's called parliamentary supremacy. So that's what we're doing. We're giving a head of power to the Parliament so that they can tackle the detail on the voice. And by the way, when you read the provision, it says the Parliament shall have the power, not the government. The Parliament is subject, the government is subject to the Parliament. It has to get through the House of Reps and the Senate. So all of this talk about detail and so on, the crucial thing to focus on is what the provision says. And the provision says that it's Parliament's role to furnish the detail. Now that's good pedagogy for those who really want to get into what this is all about.